First item, first we would like to call for approval of agenda. Does anyone have any comments or?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's been called, is it seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Approval of minutes. Does anybody have any changes?
No, motion to approve the minutes?
Second the motion to approve the minutes.
It's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the first item we have is consent agenda. This item, we just need, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it. If you have any questions, or if there's any administrative actions that are needed, if there's no additional discussion is needed, then it will be automatically approved. Does anybody have anything?
Is the petitioner here today?
This is part of the,
We're not
it's not
there.
part of the public comment.
Oh, okay.
Can I just make sure I understand? I mean, I read it, and it basically just sounds like they ran out of time. They went through their project,
Yeah.
and they got through a little over half, and then ran out of time and just need it to be approved again? That's what it's in the report, correct?
In short, yeah, all their approvals expired, so they just started over.
Yeah, it's already been approved before, so.
Got it.
Okay, without objections or comments, then the item will pass without further consideration. Don't have anything on the administrative session. We'll move to the legislative session. Item number 2, Springville Community Development seeks to amend Springville City Code, Title 11, Chapter 4, Article 301, Land Use Matrix to amend the list of uses permitted in the North Gateway area from 400 North to 1160 North Main. Josh, do you have a presentation?
Chair, Commissioners, thank you. Carla left work early, feeling unwell today, so she's not able to be here to present to you. Carla asked me to come and let you know that as we've evaluated this proposal, and I can give you some background on it, that there are other pieces in the code that relate to this that make the implementation of this ordinance and interpretation of nonconforming uses unclear. And so we're asking to continue the item so that we can clean up a couple other things concurrently. But I'd like to just give you some background on the item. We have 2 members of the Planning Commission now that previously served on the Community Board. And last year, in the Community Board's efforts, or within the past couple of years, the Community Board evaluated a number of areas in the city which had the opportunity or potential for change and growth, especially those that were high priority or important gateways or important key sites in the city. The Community Board evaluated the currently permitted use in those zones and made recommendation, or in those areas, and made recommendation to staff as to what uses they would like to see not happen in the area, either on a long-term basis or until additional regulations were put into place to control the form, the development character of those uses, such as let's take just like a auto parts store, for instance. Some of you may have been around to know that there was an auto parts and kind of tool implement store in the Reynolds block. And if we had a Reynolds block in the North Main Street area and somebody wanted to put a car parts store in it, we would have no problem with that. But the Community Board expressed concern that the typical form of development for those and other type of uses is typically suburban, single-story buildings with parking in front. And with the work that's ongoing on the North Gateway plan, the intent is to protect that area from additional suburban type development until additional regulation can come into play to make sure we get the right kind of buildings there. And then we're less concerned about exactly what's in those buildings. But what we don't and did not want to do is penalize or otherwise create stress for existing property owners and existing business owners. We're primarily concerned about new businesses on new sites, undeveloped sites. We're not concerned that a storage unit exists or adds an additional bay on the rear of on their storage unit site, or that Johnson Tire continues to use the site they've used for the better part of 50 plus years. I mean, it's probably
100.
Well, they were down here first. I just don't know when they moved. And so our intent is not to take away anyone's ability to continue to use their property, and that's where Carla brought up today, and we discussed that there are elements in other areas of the code that make giving clear answers to property owners and business owners about what their non-conforming rights are going forward would be if those uses were removed from the zone. So we are still very interested in advancing the request of the community board and in making sure that in this key North Gateway area, especially as we're seeing more and more development pressure, that development occurs in a way that's in line with the long-range plans of the city. But we need to do some cleanup in the zone before we clean up in other elements of the code before we move this forward, so that everything is clear, especially for our existing business and property owners.
Okay, so you're requesting to continue this item?
Yes, please.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll motion to continue the item.
Do I hear a second?
I'll
Yeah.
second.
Pete does.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great.
And
So
to
just
any
for,
of-
as a point of reference for anyone that may be interested, when we continue something, we go back, they work on it some more, and then it comes back to us to present to whatever the new changes that have been made. So that's just so you know that. So
And to anyone that was here for that item, please feel free to reach out to us, either to Carla or to myself, for any questions regarding the effort in general. That I know we've met with a lot of the people that are here in regards to the North Main Street plan over the past couple of years, but we're always available and happy to talk about plans and what we're up to.
that'd be great. So once that conversations can happen, and then it comes back to us as the planning commission in the new format, and then there will be opportunity for public comment at that point too as well. And then we will make our recommendations from that point. So
Can I make a request or something? I mean, I know having sat on the community board and gone through what we went through, I mean, I remember many discussions line by line. This was not hasty, and it was not at all just thrown together like, yeah, not that. Is if people are interested in why it ended up this way, can we somehow link like the minutes from those meetings? Can we please find those? Because there was thorough discussion, and I think if anyone has questions, they would be able to see that.
Yeah, it's all available, but we can pull it together and pull the links together just so somebody could find it quickly.
I
if
think
they're
that
interested.
whenever you have something, I mean, if you can follow it from the very beginning of the discussion all the way through, I think I mean, sometimes people find out about it halfway through and don't know that it's been like that, but I mean, we can do a little bit of work for them.
Yeah, of
If
course.
we know they happened and we can link it, I think that would benefit the public who are interested.
And that's why we reviewed all of that prior action in the staff report, but that's a good recommendation to provide links to additional resources if people want to do further reading.
Thank you.
great suggestion. Okay, let's move on to item number 3. Do you have some on that, Josh?
Yes. So this is regarding what we call the WUI. It's not as exciting as it sounds. This is a mandate that's come down from the state. The state has passed a bill 2 years ago that required cities to adopt the Wildland Urban Interface Code, or that's published by the International Code Council. In order to be able to maintain participation in the cooperative wildland firefighting program, essentially if there's a fire that starts in our kind of wildland adjacent areas, that if we don't do this, we could be not able to be reimbursed for our expenses in fighting those fires, which we currently are. So under the direction and guidance of our fire marshal, our fire chief, we've advanced this effort. The first thing we did was we actually adopted the WUI code by reference into our building code, and because that's a building code element, that just goes straight to council, so you were not privy to that. But now what we need to do is actually add the wildland urban interface as an overlay within our zoning code. What the WUI overlay does is it imposes additional building code requirements on construction that happens within this designated wildland urban interface area, essentially related to fire rating. So it evaluates the level of risk of a proposed construction and then assigns a fire resistive construction type to that. It's a combination of construction and landscaping. As one of our building inspectors put it today, he said if you want to let cheatgrass and juniper grow up next to your house, you're going to have a higher fire rating that you're going to have to build to. But if you design clear areas and fire breaks into your site, your fire, the rating of your rated fire assembly, your construction will be less. So it's a combination of landscaping and building code that's imposed only on a very small area in the city. We will come back to you to actually have you adopt the map. Right now we're adopting the code, but this is essentially the extent of our wildland urban interface zone as we've mapped it so far today. So just the very far foothill adjacent reaches of the city will be subject to this. And the action that's before you tonight is to adopt or recommend adoption, make a recommendation to the City Council on adoption of the Wildland Urban Interface overlay so that we can then apply it to the map and hold property owners responsible for meeting that code.
So there's no maps or any other than the one you just showed us, right?
No, we will bring the map back to you. This is adopting the code, then we will come and amend the map.
Is it retroactive, Josh?
No,
No,
it's not. There's no obligation for property owners to go in and retrofit existing construction.
How's it are we ready for some questions, or?
Yes, that's my presentation.
How is it enforced? How do you do that?
It's enforced during the building permitting plan review process.
Right, but post building, post construction, how is it enforced?
Explain to me a little more what you mean.
Well, if somebody says, I'm not going to plant anything close to the house, I'm not going to do this, not going to do that, then when that person sells the home to another person, obviously there must be something in the selling paperwork that says you now live in a wildlife interface zone and you're required to meet these stipulations, but if someone just starts planting trees and we're trying.
I don't know that it's something that would require a disclosure in selling a property. That's not my realm. Just like I didn't, I had to check the zoning on my property when I bought my house, but I've only done it once. So this is really a zoning issue. The specific elements related to landscaping are really mostly in effect for just a very few properties immediately adjacent to the wildlands or to the foothills, like properties that bound it. And that's actually handled by an inspection process that's administered by the county and by our fire department to make sure that those high-risk properties remain in compliance.
So that's done by the county then?
County and or our
City.
staff, correct?
I was just curious because if, you know, if you sell a house that's in a floodplain, you have to disclose that because you know, if it's
Right.
been dry, no one ever remembers that there used to be a lot of water right up here where we sit. So, yeah. I
This will
just was
be
curious.
mapped on the zoning map, so you'll be able
Yeah.
to check your zoning and
Yeah.
see that you've got, have the, what do we call it? The hillside overlay zone, which controls how you can build and landscape in high slope areas. But those particular properties, and there's just a very few of them, will be subject to a inspection regime.
What about when a home is sold? You know, the existing home is grandfathered in. Is that the property's grandfathered in, or just the current homeowner? Is that the way this is written? I'm just
No,
asking.
it's only
since
sub,
we're-
only new construction
Only new
is
builds.
subject to this ordinance.
Okay.
Not during a transfer.
Correct. Only new construction.
Is it also, sorry if I'm behind, this is just creates the overlay.
Correct. It does
We're not
map it.
applying it to any specific area.
Correct.
That's for future.
Correct.
This creates the opportunity to do that sometime in the future.
Yes, this
Okay.
puts it in the code, so then we'll come and apply it to the map
Agreed.
quickly.
Okay.
That's why I was asking the questions, if there were some things that you wanted to add in there that would maybe create more protection or more, you know, something in that overlay to say, these are the rules that apply in this area, not
Yeah,
that you've applied it as a map. I understand that.
we are sticking straight with the model ordinance and with what the state has
What the
recommended.
state's recommended, okay. So that protects us from liability and things like that, probably.
I wouldn't speak to that as I'm not an attorney, but I know it meets the requirements of state code.
Is there other areas, I'm sorry if I don't know this, because it's the first time I've seen this, where it's prioritizing this overlay over any other conflicting provision or any underlying zone? That this is like the trump card? Is that normal? Does that happen in other?
Often in overlays it does, where there are conflicting provisions, typically the overlay controls, because the overlay is used to address specific site conditions or specific additional requirements. So like in Provo, we had an overlay on East Center Street that no matter what the underlying zone was, you had to meet a couple additional standards regarding construction or reconstruction or alteration of structures, and those trumped or controlled.
Okay.
When the overlay is silent regarding some regulatory provision, the underlying code controls.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We open for,
Yeah, public hearing.
open it for public hearing, public comment. If you would like to comment, if you'll please approach the podium, state your name, and it's just, the comments are just about this specific item that we have here that we're talking about right here. So if you had something else that you wanted to discuss or talk with, this is not the place for that. Thank you.
Seeing no one coming forward, I would like to motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any other questions or anything else that they'd like to talk about on this?
I think most of my questions will come when the map, when the map comes out, and I think just creating the space where we can have that discussion, I'm comfortable with this.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Sure, I motion to recommend approval of zone text amendments to Springville City Code, Title 11, Chapter 5, to adopt the wildland urban interface overlay.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, well, seeing there's nothing else we have on the agenda, do I hear a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
I'll second.
I hear a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Josh.